So like when we start up, I can see sort of what it's supposed to look like, but it
Mm-hmm.
was lagging behind by like minutes. We're trying a new thing here where there's like less lag. It's supposed to be faster, so we'll see. Low latency, I think is what they called it. We're gonna see if that helps get the vertical stream going.
Checking my phone now. Nope. No
I,
vertical.
I still can't understand why. For some reason the bot's not connecting. Oh, that did something. Just okay, bot's working. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're working on this rainbow bag again. We started this at the beginning of the year, and we are getting towards the end. I suspect there's still at least another couple more weeks of work on it, and we'll see how it goes. All right, I am joined tonight by my lovely wife, Mandy, and yeah, we're going to see how much of this thing we can get done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're looking at least 2 weeks after this to being done. I'm not 100% on that, but it seems like there's still kind of a little ways to go. So I'm kind of, so like this week plus a couple more. So this is pretty awesome. So yeah, we had a pretty kind of busy-ish week. Over here on this side of the world, we just celebrated the Chinese New Year's, which meant family coming over to visit and lots of snacking, and that was pretty cool. Unlike a regular New Year's, the Chinese New Year's takes a couple of days to kind of get through. Like regular New Year's, you just wait for the countdown, 3, 2, 1, done. Chinese New Year's, it's like you get the day one of the Chinese New Year's and day two. And if you're in China, then there's like up to 15 days. It's, you know, unless you're like really into it, then it could be like 30 days. So you never want to order stuff at this time of year. Like from like AliExpress, it always comes with a bit of a delay. That said, we did order, and we just unboxed a bunch of string, and it came in like they must have just gotten it out right before the whole big holiday thing. It was awesome. We got it here. I tried to shoot a video. I was going to do some time lapse of unpacking the string, but I wasn't sure like how fast to set the time lapse thing for. And so I set it for like once every 15 seconds, and I barely got anything out of it. And then it cut off kind of like halfway through the whole process. So I have no idea why it cut off. So yeah, normally we just record it at full speed and then speed it up. But I was afraid that I didn't have that much space on my phone. So I tried going a different way, and that just was not very helpful. But yeah, so this one was a little bit different because we were picking up string to go with leftover string from a different project. This one is somewhat related to that. This was leftover string from a project. So yeah, so there was a bunch of string left over after like we took this out of it. And so we made different projects. So there's like 5 bags that we've set aside string for. And so basically, I think that we're good for the whole rest of this year when it comes to the larger projects like making bags and stuff. Like if all the projects are roughly this size, yeah, it's probably gonna take me the rest of the year to make all of it, which is kind of crazy when I think about like the whole thing. And then there's enough other string that's not related to that that should also keep me like in string for the whole rest of this year, which is just amazing to me. Like, yeah. And I mean, I go through a lot of string. I have no doubts about the fact that I am not the most frugal when it comes to it. I cut my string in thirds, and even knowing that there'll be like leftover just because I just don't want it to run out midway through the bracelet. So, yeah, still a year's worth of floss is crazy. We actually, we actually rearranged the airplane trolley to make it a little bit easier to find any given color. So it should be pretty cool. I should do another video about the trolley, show you how it's set up right now. So the row that I'm working on was partially done last week. So I don't know how long it'll take to finish up this part of it, but it is the longer part of the row. This is the one with the 5 knots versus the 3. So all right. Right. Well, you know that on my website, AKAAWOL.com, I have templates that you can actually fill in with patterns. So if you can like decipher a pattern, you could actually put it onto that. And then you can use that to like change up colors. Like I just worked out a video early today about making a pattern. And then I kind of realized that I didn't quite like the color sequence. There's just 3 different colors in a row, but I wanted it to go light, medium, dark. And yeah, so there's a whole thing like a page dedicated to the graph paper itself. But yeah, and then like most of my videos kind of show you like me filling it in and figuring out how to do it. And I use the software GIMP, which is free. Yeah, so if you've got a computer, you can use GIMP, which is free, and you can follow like along with like one of my videos of me making patterns and see how I do it. And then you'll be on the road to making all your own stuff. I do a lot of them where like I'm really heavy into symmetry. So I show how to like make it easier, and then using copy and paste and flipping tools to make it so that way you can create a pattern relatively quickly. I mean, like seriously, a lot of them are less than 30 minutes of me creating a full on pattern. And yeah, I also did a video recently where somebody on Reddit was asking about a pattern, and they couldn't find it online or whatever, so I made up the pattern myself. I don't do a lot of stuff with the other main websites, the Bracelet Book or friendshipbracelets.net. But you know, I like to make my patterns myself. It's kind of a thing. And I like to be able to teach other people how to make their own pattern. I think that's a big thing that everybody should be able to, like, if there's a part of a pattern that you like and you want to incorporate or see whether or not you can incorporate another idea into it, like being able to manipulate the pattern is, you know, something else. Plus, on those websites, they're showing you like an arrowhead. They'll show you it coming downwards, or they'll show an arrowhead going upwards. But what if you want it to come to a point and then go the other direction? So the top half is pointing up and the bottom half is pointing down to give it the symmetry. Those websites don't have that. They don't have a bracelet set up to be exactly the size that you want, so that, you know, it's not too long, it's whatever, it's all symmetrical. Like, yeah, that's why I make my own patterns. It's because I can do that, and it doesn't take me very long at all to do it. And yeah, I can get all the colors balanced however I want, put whatever I want as the center. Yeah, there's a whole lot. Yeah. Yeah. Like this is the one that somebody did the request for. They wanted to see this bracelet. You know, they wanted to see a pattern for it. And it's cool. It looks pretty neat. I like how it's balanced. I like how it's got a diamonds, you know, the yellow diamonds at the ends, and then separating the segments. There's these. Yeah. So yeah, I've actually produced it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, the thing you should know about my templates is I have been counting the number of strings in a bracelet very different from everybody else for a very long time. People, I'll count it as 6 strings because that's how many strings there are, that I have cut. But everybody else likes to call that a 12-string bracelet because they count it, how many strings are coming down, and 12 sounds way cooler than 6. So when you're going through the templates and you're trying to find the right size, just know that like I basically have always counted it differently. And I've considered like updating my website to make it like that, call it a 12-string bracelet or whatever, but I just kind of never got around to it. And it still sort of makes sense to me, like how many strings are being cut for it. Because I all my strings go through the loop, right? I'll go into the kumi. All right, let's spin this a bit. It's really looking good. I really love the overall look of this so far. Yeah, we still got a ways to go. Yeah. No, I think you got it. So I count how many strings there are coming up, and then, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure it makes sense to me even anymore at this point. Like these here, these were these 7s or 8s, honey? These loops, probably 8. Yeah, there's probably 8 colors here.
8.
Yeah. So there's 8 strings going into the loop here, or 16 strings coming down, depending on how you want to count that. Shake. Oh, so next week we're out during the week itself, but we'll be back before Saturday, so there'll still be the regular live stream. I'll be working on this again. Are you sure that we don't have the stream vertical? There seems to be a few more people bouncing in.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm looking forward to trying this pattern again, but maybe changing up the sequences of how they start at the top, because this one has 4 different directions that the arrowheads are going in. And so changing up whatever, like right here, there's a whole big zigzag thing going on that I love. But there's like an area where it doesn't connect. So I want to do something to where that connects. The stream keeps pausing. Well, that's weird. I wonder if that's just a bad internet connection, or maybe it's too high res. You can try going to your settings and try putting it to like a lower resolution. That might work. Intergalactic plane. It's the song that mentions me. Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys. You said me to smile. I'll stick around to make it with you a while. Kissed you up into his eye. Jazz and AWOL, that's my team. Disrupt the whole scene. Be sure to copy it. Does it beat? Drop. Oh, Sylvie, how did your event thing go? You were going to some friend making event where you were going to give away bracelets. How'd that work out? Cool. Oh. Oh, I thought you were. I was thinking it would be such a cool way. Like, well, we really hit things off here. Have one of these. This is something I make. I thought that was like what the point of it was. I was like, that's way cool. I'm getting ready. Like I said, next week we're going to be out of town. I'm going to figure out which bracelets to bring along with me. The last time we went to this, where we're going, this week, last time we were there, we gave away a couple bracelets that seemed really well appreciated. So think about maybe bringing along a couple more. Cool. Yeah, last time we were going, I ended up getting the dopamine tattoo, and the artist was so incredible, so good. I barely had any, like, there was like almost no pain, there was no blood. It just worked out really, really well. So we're going to go back. We're going to see him again. Right. I don't think my problem has been a lack of time. My problem lately has been a lack of motivation. I'm on some new meds, and it's making it really hard to kind of concentrate on a project for any like real length of time, with the exception of this one here. And I have to admit, like, part of me is like, wanting to go back to like the very early days of video making, where I might only produce a video per week, and they were like bigger things, bags and some of the other more crazy things, because I had more time to be able to like put together these things and go a little bit crazy with it. It's like the coin purse and all that other stuff that all came from like that era. Because it's hard to make a video for 5 days a week. And I think what makes like these bigger projects nice is you come up with the idea and then you work on it for days. You don't have to even think about what am I working on today. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna, progress on the thing. It's so much easier. I like this stuff. Wow, amnesia. That's scary. But no, I don't know about Kanye West. Ooh. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not sure that I relate to people who like go off their meds and then do bad things and say it's because they're off their meds. But I guess it's possible. But I can definitely see like how the meds can curtail the creativity. So we only have this little segment right here, and like that whole row is done. Right. I wonder what he was on meds for, though. So mine, right. Yeah, I see. So I'm bipolar and ADHD and possibly autistic as well. So like I got a whole list of things that like potentially going on with my head. And yeah, see, most of the people I ever hear who are also bipolar tend to blame like really dumb things on it. That it's like, I've never done any of that. And I went most of my life without being on meds. So like, it doesn't make sense to me to say like the YouTuber who used to do all of the upscale apartments and stuff in New York, he ran over the leg of a police officer and put them on a high-speed chase and ran for all whatever. He tried saying that it was because he's bipolar, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. You don't just wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm going to run over a police officer. It's just, it's frustrating to me as a person who actually has this thing to hear people try to say, oh, well, it made me do a bad thing. No, that's not how it works. It can make you creative. It can make you depressed, but there's nowhere in there does it mean that you're turned into, I don't know, inflated egos and stuff is more likely why he like said terrible stuff, is he thinks a little too highly of himself. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. Yeah, it's weird. That's another weird one too. I've only recently been pointed out what it's like to be on the spectrum and how it may kind of answer a lot of questions about various things, being overwhelmed at large events and whatever else. But at the end of the day, I'm still responsible for how I act. Like that to me is like one of the most important things. Like I knew a lot of people who would get drunk and go do something stupid. And it's like, just because you've been drinking doesn't mean you get to say, oh, I was drunk, that therefore I was allowed to be a bad person. That's not true. You're responsible for yourself no matter what. That's why back in my youth, I would never get that so messed up as to like black out or whatever, or, stop being in control. Hey, honey, can you give me something for heartburn?
Okay.
So just the last week. Myself defeat. Yeah, absolutely. I remember there was we had a kegger back when I was in the service. There was a weekend. We bought a keg of beer, a bunch of guys all together. We all drank a bunch of beer. We all had a good time. And if it had stopped at that, it would have been fine. But after the first keg, there were people who are like, no, this has been so much fun. We want it to continue. And they tried to raise up enough money to get a second keg. And when they finally kind of like aggressively went at it, finally guy got another keg. And it was with the second keg that people started getting too wasted and wanted to break things and tear up stuff. And it could have been such a nice day if everybody had just agreed that all they needed was that first one and just having a nice day about it. But nope. It ended with because it was I was in the Navy, right? So it ended up with the military police coming, and yeah, it got ugly. Thanks, sweetheart. So now we're on the littler row where it's like 3 knots. Pretty cool. Well, the plus side is these strings that are kind of lining up now are pretty even. Most of the string is not too short yet. Obviously, considerably shorter than when we started, but they're not too short to where I'm worried about running out before the end of this project or whatever. Have to admit, if I did run out, there would be a problem because I didn't write down what the numbers are for these colors. So that would get ugly. Trying to match them up. Just have a show. Don't stay a little bit closer. Shit. It really smell like poop. Does this really smell like poop? Caroline. See. To the side, realize. Goes to real down to master. Yeah. This is like the longest row where they're all going in the same direction. This is one of the things I want to avoid in the next version of this. I know that looking at a project like this can look like it's just so big and so like absolutely crazy. But realistically, it's like doing 10 bracelets or 15 bracelets worth of work. So like if you can make bracelets, you know, in and out throughout the week or whatever, you can put together a small bag. You could have something for your phone, or maybe you want something smaller, maybe just a tiny one that holds a little bit of money, maybe your ID card, that kind of thing. You know, that one even takes even less time to do. And the fact that you guys know me means you have somebody to ask questions if you run into idea problems. You know, for me, honestly, I like to have it all thought out before I even get started, like, or at least the majority of it thought out. Like, I think it was last week we were talking about the fact that I'm a little indecisive on how to do the base. But the reality is, I know that I still have time for that. Like, getting this whole other part figured out was probably more important. When it comes to the base, I can do it whichever way I want to at the end of the day. But there could be other things that kind of fall in place that would help me to make that decision. Like if the string isn't long enough to really make the extra rows needed to go into this, because my phone can only go up to like the line here. So this whole extra decorative part is kind of wasted. So if it looks like it's going to be a problem, I could have ended up in here instead. And like, yeah, like those kind of choices can get made for you, but having a general idea ahead of time really will take you really far. And I can help with that process. If you kind of give me an idea what your end goal is to be, I can probably point to a video that I've already made, because I've done a lot of bags just for the sake of the videos. Some of it might be from live streams. So like watching that, you'll actually be able to watch the bag being produced in real time. And other ones were like done for the sake of a video, which may either sped things up or just gave you segments of the making, with the idea that you already know how to tie knots. Now all that's left is design and execution. I know that there's been at least 4 people who I have directly influenced into making larger projects. 2 were in Russia, and one of the bags was absolutely outstanding. It was so pretty. It was so crazy. The other one in Russia learned how to do the spiral bases and started making some pretty amazing stuff with that kind of a vibe going to it. They made a thing that it kind of looked like a saucer with a triangular bit that kind of went up, had a loop on it, kind of came down, and then went into a saucer to be able to be hung from a space at the desk and hold paper clips. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was pretty amazing. Rainbow, who I don't know why she's not here tonight. Rainbow made a phone bag for herself. I think that was pretty amazing. And then Minute Craft, who probably went to bed early, probably why she's not here, is she made a laptop sleeve. She skipped all the small things and went immediately into the deep end with a project that was huge. And that turned out amazing. That was really, really cool. I definitely think she picked a hard pattern to actually do it with it. Oh, I know one more. Just String Things is doing a bag that is sort of that plaid thing where like every other knot changes direction, which I'm not kidding. Like if I was making a bag with that pattern, I would have gone insane. Because you don't get any momentum. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then she kept talking about how it took her years to make it. And then when she went back and found the actual dates and stuff for that bag, it turns out she made it in 1 year. And she did it in between other projects. She kept putting other smaller projects in her way because it was just like, it seemed so overwhelming. She didn't know she wanted to work on it. And so even like with putting it on the back burner for weeks at a time, she still produced something like that. And yeah, mesmerizing is definitely mesmerizing. There was a time early on with my bag making that I tried drawing up. I tried to imagine what all different possible beginnings could you have for a bag. Everything going left, like these long rows, it takes a little bit longer to do. Plus, this pattern, the way these things are joining together if I do two of them where they're both going the same direction, which I think they were lefts, made it so that way that these things aren't joined. Like this yellow and this yellow will join down here. If I have it too much going in one direction alone, they won't join. They'll run parallel. And I don't know. I like the look of these things all connecting. It might be seem silly, but it's a preferential thing for me in this pattern. Is I love them connecting. I love it looking like the bar graphs. You know, like this looks like the market taking a dive, but then it's coming back up. You know, like this one over here it's going dropped down and then went back up. I don't know. But it was one of those things, like I kind of didn't know how it would turn out until it turned out. And then I realized, I don't want too much all doing the same thing. It's more fun when it's all broken up and zigzagging all over the place. But that's a live and learn kind of thing. You know, starting to discover what you like more. Like I just did a couple tutorials where I tried these patterns and they sort of had an arrow effect to them, but they were pointing outwards away from the center. And I realized that I didn't quite like that as much as I like ones that point to the center. And so I'm going to retry both of these patterns and see if I like it more or not. Which I really love the idea that I can explore something as trivial as that in my videos, because one, there is no right answer, and two, I'm getting to show people like how to use the graph paper to make their own things, and how it's kind of like I know that I have a lot of experience, so it kind of feels almost natural for me. But I think in the videos, I think it should show that anybody could approach this stuff. You know, you just have to kind of set up the little guidelines, you know, and figure out like how many knots is there in your bracelets from top to bottom. So that way you can set up where the middle is and put a guideline there. It's so much easier to copy and paste and flip things to make it so that way the whole design comes out. These shorter rows go way faster. I'm already shifting again. Okay. Ooh. Hang on. Having to take a magnesium tablet because my hands are cramping. There are all kinds of little troubles over here tonight. Yeah, the zigzag here really works out really well. Let me slide this down again. Look at this. It just goes all the way up. It is so cool. I love it. But when it gets to the part where there's two lefts, it runs parallel to each other. It doesn't connect. It doesn't do the zigzag thing. It sort of just runs parallel. And I'm sure that somebody, whoever ends up with the bag, is probably going to love it just the way it is. To them, that's just added bonus. Right. Oh yeah. Can you imagine doing this with like mountain range colors with like a fade and like some maybe like off whites or like light blues or something to be like a skyline along it? Yeah, that would totally rock. So the beginning of how this whole thing gets started or whatever is on a web page. Like the link is in the description to the web page where you can see the four different directions, and they're all joined together in a very basic design. But you can put them in any order you want and experiment with it in any kind of ways. Like I said, me personally, I don't like the whole putting them together where there's too many facing one way. But maybe that's your thing. Maybe you make them all face one way and then make it so that way they all just sort of move in a downward spiral going around the whole bag. That could be cool. I mean, ideally, I would love to have had like an apprentice so that way I could spend, you know, do twice as many patterns and like have like an apprentice to like that idea I just had, like having it go around like, okay, here's what you're working on, let me know when you're done. And we could like put the stuff together and have videos to show way more things getting made. But because it's basically me putting things together and trying whatever, I have to kind of budget the time as to what can I realistically work on. And yeah, a lot of ideas kind of fall aside because there's other bigger, badder things to make. Yeah, yeah, totally. I think that's the autism part of my brain where I don't just think it out, I overthink it. And I don't know why I don't mean to overthink everything, but I do. I think of like where things could go wrong. I thought about like this one, like when the strings cross over their own colors, making sure that instead of just letting it go forward, like, right. See, that would be really cool. I would love that. There was somebody who suggested an artist, said that I should do a collab with them. I don't know what happened. It kind of fell through. We never ended up connecting. But yeah, it would be fun to do some collabs. Mind you, one of the drawbacks of trying to do a collab with somebody is it took me ages to figure out how to have a setup where I can work on this and everything's in focus and my sound quality is there and all the different stuff that goes into it. The camera is less expensive than the first one. I originally had a GoPro in here, and then we got the GoPro, I think it was 7 or 8 for in here. But the problem was every time my hands would come into frame, it would change the focal length. So it would be like zit, 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 all the time, which if you were watching the live stream for like, any real length of time, it could almost make you seasick. So, yeah, now the camera I have now is a manual focus. So I set the focus right on the work, make sure that is coming in nice and clear. And then, it just makes it easier to watch. And I wouldn't have known that, seemed like everybody, all the big YouTubers and stuff, all use really big, high-end, fancy cameras. I can shoot 4K with my setup. So yeah, but they're kind of cheaper cameras. Yeah, they can. If you set them to ultra wide, then they get all kind of really distorted. But if you set it to where 1080p and you set it to a closer focal length, yeah, you don't get that fisheye thing. Yeah, because I didn't want the fisheye effect, as well as the fact I wasn't trying to show that much of my desk. I was trying to show what I was working on. I'm pretty sure, if you actually go back to early live stream videos, like the very first ones and stuff, you'll probably see the GoPro in action. I'm pretty sure it was GoPro for the entire big project, and I'm pretty sure that was pretty early in the live streams. A couple hundred videos ago, literally, we're at what, video 217. So yeah, a couple hundred videos ago, I was struggling with all kinds of things. Yeah, so here's where it's 2 to the right, and because there's two to the right next to each other, these 2 rows right here will run parallel and won't join up with anything. This one here will do the bounce. So then this one here will join the bounce again. It'll mirror what this one did, but these ones won't connect with the rest of the stuff, which kind of bums me out because the rest of it, like, so like this one comes down, goes down, it'll connect down here to this, and that goes all the way back up to the top. So yeah. All right. There. So this finishes off this short row. Only this little area here to go. So some of the other bags I plan on making, the next one is going to be an interesting prototype of an idea of where you kind of lift it up to get it to uncinch. So yeah, kind of to pull the phone out, you'll kind of raise up the bag from the bottom to get the strap to kind of let loose of the bag itself. And the way that it's going to be designed is like something I've never done yet before. So it's very much like a prototype-ish thing. If it turns out well, then I'll make more. If it doesn't turn out well, I'll sell it cheap. It's one of the bonuses of being creative. wanna see you whip it, shark could treat you right. Give me just a minute, all your time tonight. We both are here to have some fun. Oh, so I was saying earlier that the program I used to make the patterns is called GIMP, which is like stands for something GUI interface manipulation something. I don't know. It's basically a free Photoshop, and it's really easy to use. And like in my videos, I actually show you like all the things I'm doing, the paint tool and all that stuff. So yeah, as long as you got a computer, it's a really good way of doing it. If you don't have a computer, you would probably open it up. I forgot what the. I mean, do you remember what the photo app I was using when we were on vacation? I was doing the one pattern on the tablet.
No.
It's
I remember you using it, but I don't remember what it was called.
it might have been called Pocket Paint. I'm pretty sure. I just pulled up my my tablet here. Yeah, it's probably Pocket Paint. that can work if you're like using a tablet to try to fill it in. Not as easy, of course, as doing it on the computer, but it's plausible. Right on. So my patterns like get made on something that uses like the blue green that is used with people who do blueprints, because that color does not work out if you have it like printed. Like if you had a color printed and then you put that through the copy machine, that color of blue just turns out blank. It's meant to skip over it. So that was kind of a nod to my blueprinting days of high school and junior high. But yeah. Yeah. It's nice to know that somebody else actually knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know it had an actual title name like that. But that's cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I had the pencil. The do I still have? Yeah, I had ink for this. Yeah, so this is one of my mechanical pencils. I love this thing. But yeah, I had the blue ink or the blue lead for one of these for doing the same thing. Man, bringing back some memories. I used to love doing drafting stuff. Oh, I heard something really cool. So this, you're gonna love this. Instead of using something like that, use one of these. So this, it's got a hard rubber nub on the end of this pen. And then like this is how it clicks, is this little thing here. This ink is erasable, and it erases based on the heat friction of this little nub. But, and here's the cool part. If you use like the heat gun, you can just make this ink disappear. So you can draw up your whole sketch with this, color in with watercolors or whatever, and then use a heat gun and the ink will disappear. Tell me that's not the coolest thing. Except for I don't have a heat gun. My wife doesn't have a hair dryer. I obviously don't need a hair dryer. Haven't in a while. I know, right? The random things you can learn on my live streams. So yeah, on my little holiday getaway, I'm not bringing string this time. 80% sure that I'm not bringing string this time. If I do, it's the couple bracelets that I've already created patterns for. And if I do that, then I also have to bring something to hold my phone to record video. But I don't know if I want to go to all that trouble. It just seems like too much stuff to bring. And I'm supposed to be taking a break from everything. So I don't know. But I am bringing watercolors. I do plan on doing sketches. So possibly by next week, when we do the stream, I can maybe show you some of my trip through the lens of my artwork. We'll see how it goes. I have to do a whole lot better than I typically do if I'm going to share it with anybody. So we'll see how it goes. Are we seriously just like hitting the halfway point, or just past the halfway point of the stream? Just realized like we've kind of got a bunch done. I somehow thought that it was much later than it is. That's pretty cool. There we go. We are well underway to this other bigger row. So like, I'm pretty sure we'll hit all of this done. The question is, can we do a short row after this? We'll see. Oh, have you guys been following the monkey named Punch from the Japan news? I am like so captivated by this poor little guy. He keeps getting bullied. He got, pushed away by his own mother. They gave him a stuffed animal from IKEA. And so now IKEA is making all kinds of like little memes about their stuffed animals. It's just too much. And yet somehow I can't get enough of it. Poor little guy. Looks like he's made some new friends though. But he does seem to resort back to his stuffed pal.
He's so cute.
Yeah. Oh, it's it's really been kind of like a roller coaster because some of the first videos were him being abandoned by the mom, given a stuffed toy, and then there's another video of where an older monkey's got a hold of him and just swinging him around in circles, and immediately after he gets loose, he runs off into this little corner where his stuffed animal is, and he just like really sad. Yeah. Yeah. He's a really cute little guy, but he seems that maybe some other monkeys have taken him under the wing. It's kind of hard because like different videos portraying different things, you don't know what the real timeline is, and it's kind of be a big enough thing that it even got mentioned on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Talked about a little bit about it.
2 hours later.
The SpongeBob thing, I knew it was coming, and it still made me jump. It's to let me know there's 1 hour left. So if I have any intentions of trying to finish an area or do whatever, I know where I'm at. So I'm just going to keep trying to get as far as we can with this. I think there's still another 2 more weeks, at least. Yeah, there's a few CM there to go. I somehow thought that all we did here tonight was going to bring that a lot closer, but I want to see. I'm going to take a quick peek. Hang on. Oh, yeah. But here's a thought. I'm looking at this, and this is cool. I'm guessing this is going to get used as a bookmark because it's smaller than the bracelet, and you created the tassel effect over here. Instead of creating this big loop like you did here, if you just take a piece of string and put that underneath a clip, like use a binder clip like this, right? And clip down a piece of string, and then do your basic start without any loop at all, just have it be held in place by a piece of string that you can take out afterwards. You can have just this triangular bit at the end. If you do it maybe with a bigger string instead, maybe you use this part of the string, you could have this attach at the very end, and you wouldn't need all this extra big loop here, and it would look really, really cool for a bookmark. Because this is a little bit out of place, I think. The loop up here is a little bit out of place. Hang on, I just made some bookmarks. So these are the bookmarks I made. It's got this like metal thing to go into the book, and then it's just a little bit of bracelet. There's no loop; it just goes right onto the ring. Here's a smaller one. It just attached right onto the jump ring. It's just a little something cute. It's just something different. I mean, it's something to try. You don't necessarily need the hardware, but it gives it a nice look. See, I already lost track of where I was. You're welcome.
Just looking at your first giveaway bag again.
Yes,
You should make it again.
I should. I really should. However, I just had a string order, and I did not.
You should have enough. It's a rainbow. How many?
I think those are 12 string loops.
Yeah.
So
I don't see why you wouldn't have. And then the background is back. You don't even have to do the same bag with the spiral base. You can just do a phone bag.
no, if I was going to do it, I'd do the spiral base again because that was pretty cool.
It was gorgeous.
So my wife is referring to a bag that I took the biggest chance. I convinced somebody else to buy the string and to use it as a giveaway, a promo for them and their string company. And without ever having made a bag with a spiral base or any kind of base like I was making for this bag, no prior experience, and I just somehow overly confident went about putting it together, and it came out spectacular. But there was a real good chance that I didn't know what I was doing, and that maybe it could have turned out really badly. But I have so much knotting experience. I really felt like I could figure this thing out and make it come out pretty cool. And it did. It turned out amazing. It was gifted to somebody in Texas who unfortunately doesn't have the bag anymore. because of a house fire, the house burned to the ground, took the bag with it. She was pretty young at the time, pretty devastated. Kind of says it kind of breaks her heart every time I post pictures of the bag, that she was so pleased that she had won, and to see it come back up in the memories on YouTube is sort of a downer. I have actually considered just making it and sending it a new one to her. I think it'd be really cool if I could find like a friend of hers that's nearby or whatever and ship it without her knowing, or come up with an excuse to get her address so I could mail it. Mind you, mailing to the United States right now, though, is completely insane. I don't know how much. I think like the cheapest is like $20 or $25, something like that. Yeah, it's just crazy. the strings are shorter, so it's easier to pull them through, so they go faster. Plus, you're also probably comparing it to the speed that you're going in, and your pattern is absolutely mind-bendingly numbing difficult. So how is your bag coming along? I haven't seen any posts in a while. If she has it faster, my voice will sound ridiculous. Nice. I kind of now want to hear what my voice sounds like at faster speeds. That's that still sounds like very ADHD kind of behavior where like, oh, I need to work on this, but you know what? I'll do this whole big other thing so I don't have to. That's very, very ADHD. There you go. Yep. Procrastination. Yeah. So at some point thought that the amount I was getting done tonight was so great that I would definitely see the end being near, and that we could say that only a couple more weeks left. But I swear, when I first put my phone against this before we really got underway, and now, it doesn't feel like we actually got that much done. And I don't know how that's possible, because we finished out a long row and then did the short and then another long row. And now I'm already started on the next really short one. I don't understand how that doesn't equate to being a lot more, closer to the goal. I'm so confused. Aw. So just strange things. Have you seen Punch the Monkey yet? We were talking about that earlier, and how darn cute the Japanese little monkey is that's getting all the news attention now. All over Reddit, all over everywhere. Even our local IKEA has made a cute ad about the monkey. Sir Francis is a Frenchie. A puppy. It'd be really cool if I had time to make this row go all the way around, but I highly don't expect that to be possible. We'll get as far as I can. I'm curious how far I can take it, but and it's only 3 knots, so it's technically kind of quick. I like the dinosaur one. I guess they're all going to be that. I like the one that's more done. It's really cute. Way cool. So do they have loops on them or are they bookmarks? What are they? The beginning is hidden by the clips. Those would actually make great bookmarks because it looks like the dinosaur from when the internet is out. And so if the internet's out, what is there better to do than to just get out a book and read? Wait, a basket graveyard? Are we just going to let the basket graveyard go by without?
Bracelet graveyard.
Basket.
Bracelet.
Oh, bracelet. Oh, bracelet graveyard. Why is there a graveyard for bracelets? I suddenly realized why I didn't get that. There's a big smudge on my glasses. It's somehow all this time I didn't notice it. Yeah, right. Curious minds want to know about graveyards. Is this where projects go to die? Only to occasionally be resurrected? Oh no, it's come back from the dead. Me over here, I live by much tighter rules. I don't allow myself to get too far without stuff. Although, I will tell you a funny story that happened this week. So we got new string in, and I went looking for tin cans to be able to put projects into. And I found a tin can that's been put up pretty high in the office. It's been put up, and I was like, oh, that looks like a perfect size for like one of these things I'm going to make. I crack open the tin and discover it's full of string. And I have no idea what the project was. It looks like it was going to be a nice project. possibly a rainbow of some sort. I have no idea what my thought process was at the time. So I don't have graveyards. I have project ideas where I set aside string for it and then completely forget about it. Oh, I did just realize too, there is another project that I set aside. I don't know where it is, but that we have to get back to the spats one day. I got turned off by the amount of times I'm going to have to add string to them. But I can't just let that not get finished. Oh no, that's not good. I have to trick myself. I give myself like little dopamine happiness if I push through a bracelet and get it done. I get myself all hyped up about it. Yeah, but I could see where that could be a thing where you start one, but then you don't really do it. Then you start another one, you don't really do it. That could end up with a lot not done.
That's why she has a bracelet graveyard.
Yeah, but at some point they got to get done, don't they? I'm so confused.
You just have string crypts.
Curious.
You just found one yesterday.
What's that? The box? But it's not made. It wasn't started.
No, that's what I said. I didn't say it was a bracelet. I said it was string crypts.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Wait, I'm suddenly confused at where I'm at on this thing. Those are all threes. This is three. Here. Oh. I think I only have to do between here and here. Oh no, it was just it all starts to look the same after a while. I get very confused easily here. So it just string things. Is one of your bags looking like this pattern? Is that what you're thinking? Because I got string to get another one of these out. I got like 4 zigzags in one of those, and whatever. I'm gonna have to go through that, as Mandy called it, the crypt, figure out how many strings there are, which colors, see if I can't figure out what kind of project it was.
If that was specifically ordered for that project, then we should be able to reverse search.
The numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way cool. I can't believe I just added one more to the long list of things that probably never get finished. That's yeah, I know that one's good enough. Stick what I could get. Yeah. Heck yeah. So I was saying earlier, we had a string shipment come in this week, and I messed up the video. I tried to do a time lapse, but somehow really botched that one pretty well. So there's like a 20, no, 5-second video, like a 5-second video of us with the string on the table trying to sort through it. It wasn't like a giant order of floss by any stretch of the imagination. It was probably about like a kg or kg and a half, maybe.
It was 1,000 skeins.
Yeah. So by my standards, it's a relatively small order. But with some luck, I'm thinking it's going to be enough to get me through the year.
The year's only just started, so
Yeah. If it could take me all the way through 26, that'd be awesome. We'll see.
if you keep finding more buried crypts,
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some pretty massive string hauls in the past. Like I said, I should do something with the trolley to show kind of how much string is in there, because right now it's pretty loaded. It'll make for a better looking video.
what happened to your music? Okay. It refreshed. For a moment there, it said undefined.
Yeah, that's because the fake DJ guy was talking to me and saying that what he's gonna line up for the next group of songs. And then back down. Oh, I have an actual airline trolley. When the checks went out from during the COVID period, I spent a small fortune to have a trolley that I can push around and bring out to the living room if necessary. And it's so full of string right now. It's really crazy. Yeah. It's the real McCoy. It's got the little brakes on the bottom of it. You push the little pedal down and it won't roll. Hit the other side, it rolls. And it's considered a double because there's room for the drawers on both sides. Yeah. It's even got the little drawers where if it's going to be a cold drink one, it's got the drawers where the dry ice goes into it to keep the drinks cold. I use that for the scissors and stuff. Yes, do the no yard bag. Make a no yard bag. And I'm loving this. This is just so cool. The McCoy? What's the McCoy? No, the things don't get cold anymore. In fact, there's a whole bunch of stuff in those little drawers. Let's see what else is there. Oh yeah, there's like 3 different pairs of scissors, a pair of calipers, some nail files. I got these little scissors. How cute is this? Pull off this little cap here, and you can see the little metal, and then you pull these little things down, and that's where your fingers go. So you have little tiny scissors. Not that I need those around the house, but yeah.
You have an even littler one now. The one that I just found recently.
Yep. The airplane trolley with the drawers. So yeah, I opted to get drawers. It's got 7. So it fits 7 drawers on one side, and the drawers can actually hold like the canned soda. And there's 1 drawer on the other side. So the drawer on the other side is where I hold all my bobbins, which I probably have a couple thousand bobbins. Right. And then, yeah, I have 7 drawers. So one drawer is for black and white string. Then I got one for earth tones. And then yellow and orange are combined in one. And then, so orange, I have a red drawer, a purple drawer, a blue drawer, and a green drawer. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I should do a video for that.
We'll get to that when we get back.
Yeah.
That should be
Actually,
fun.
there is a video already of it existing. It's not as
Yeah,
organized.
just not the way
Maybe
it is
it's
right
so-
now.
Right. Yeah, but you can go see the there was like the unboxing and stuff. I was so hyped. Yeah. 8
That's
drawers.
probably what we just found.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. I do realize that like I have some pretty neat stuff in this whole whatever, but I mean
Is the teeny tiny scissors not in there too?
where are teeny tiny scissors?
I'm almost sad that we're not bringing string for our trip this time because I have teeny tiny scissors.
Right. Oh no, the teeny tiny scissors are in the pouch that I carry around with me. That's where. Oh, here's that pocket knife. I've been looking for the pocket knife that has the bottle opener. I didn't realize that was in here.
Can you guys see this?
I got nail clippers in here. I got all kinds of stuff.
Like, that's how small it is.
Yeah. Being able to roll out my trolley into a room and be able to.
Well, you have to get to Bikini Bottom and help Sandy. She got her strings in a bunch again.
Yeah, I'm fairly prepared to make bracelets all the time. I often carry a clipboard with me in case I get whatever stressed and would need to tie knots. That's why I said on the vacation I'm like 80% sure that I'm not bringing stuff. But part of me is like, but what if it rains? What if I'm stuck indoors and we have nothing to do? We can't go swimming, can't do whatever else. Then having my stuff be. Mandy will be able to probably get you a link. We can probably send it through Instagram later. I'm pretty sure it was an AliExpress thing.
No, I got them on Shopee, but yeah, it's probably available.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for tonight, guys. It's been a really fun evening. You guys have been great. And yeah, I actually got the whole road leveled out. So that was awesome. I didn't quite expect that to happen. Feel like we actually made some real progress here. Still a couple of weeks away from being done, though. I don't know. Before. Yeah, I know, right? That's exactly what I'm kind of been thinking too. All right, before I go, let me quick shout out to a special thanks to all my YouTube members who make this stuff possible. You guys helped me to actually get that string order and fill up the tote and stuff. So thank you guys so much for all your support. And yeah, I'm really kind of excited about next week, getting away from it all. Maybe I'll shoot, if I get some Wi-Fi, maybe I'll shoot some videos of where we're at and put it up there for the members, just as something fun to do. Yeah. Whoops. I was trying to hit me and Mandy. I ended up hitting just Mandy. That was funny. We will be back next week. Lots of stuff to talk about next week. And yeah, that's about it, guys. So thanks for hanging out with us. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.